mundo, bienvenidos. Welcome to another edition of Slick Talk. My name is Ro, and we are joined by the world's best pizza right here and some amazing people on the panel. We have Steph, we have Odassis, we have Ashley, and newcomer Jesse. But we have to take a moment because, unfortunately, Bruce, our artificial plant, has left the stage. But we are joined by Jerry, our new flat screen TV. So, right over there, boom, over the shoulder. Jerry, welcome to the show. Love to have you, man. Cool. So, let's go ahead and start off. By the time that we taped, we are actually 2 weeks away from Salt Lake Comic-Con. Odassis, did you go?
I went. I went hard. I went to Comic-Con. I had a blast. Tickets were actually pretty reasonable, especially compared to like some other cons I've been to. Mm-hmm. And I went as a Sith. Like, Lord,
I saw your pictures on Facebook.
I was curious to what you were. I was lost. I was like, I don't know. I couldn't tell. I was like, he has a lightsaber, but he's dressed in all dark. Is he like?
For the people that don't know, that's the dark side. That's the dark side.
All right. No pun intended. But,
never saw all the Star Wars guys.
There was a lot of Jedis there, and I actually got into an impromptu lightsaber battle outside of the Comic-Con because I had a custom-built lightsaber that was there.
How much did that cost?
Actually, it wasn't so bad. Mine cost $90, which is very tame compared to some of the others.
Yeah,
that I saw like some that paid like $350 for theirs. But the great thing about these ones, they're dual ready and they have hardened plastic, so you can have your lightsaber battles.
Of course they are.
And I got to see like one of my childhood heroes, all right, Austin St. John, the original Red Ranger. It's morphin' time, all right. Drawn Source Red.
Did you fangirl?
So I was sitting there and I'm just like, I'm looking for like Felicia Day and I'm like, okay, and I look over and I just see Austin St. John's beautiful face just right there. And I heard that music and me and my brother-in-law look at each other and we're like, Austin St. John. And we run over there, we have to like take a picture. He's a cool dude. Did like some time in the military as a combat medic, worked as a firefighter, now he's getting back into, I guess, the entertainment business, and he's just it was a good time all over. I know we broke the record for most comic book characters in a photo.
And yep, definitely. We were beating China because China had about 1,530 people. And then we actually broke it by over 1,700 people. So, yep. And then we had an adjudicator go ahead and meet us from Guinness. We went ahead and flew him out, and he was legit. He had like the blazer with like the patch and then the clipboard and everything like that. Yeah, it's on my Instagram. Ro can dance. Anyways, so like he was there, and then there's all these different rules. Like the space can't be contaminated, so you need to have the people like come in through a certain section and be approved by judges, and then get into these like lines of 100 people and all these things. But I mean, Salt Lake City in Utah in general is such an amazing place. It's such an amazing community that we were able to go ahead and pull it off. We have a world record under our belts, and so we were really, really happy about that. Jess, did you get to go? Like, what would you dress up
recently, as? But I didn't dress up. I had my G4 shirt on, and I actually rigged the school cameras and pretended I was media.
Nice.
So
Cool.
Yeah, so it was fun. I got to meet Tommy Tellerico, which to me he's famous. He was actually the host of Judgment Day and Electric Playground.
Oh, wow.
So I'm kind of like a video game geek, so it was cool it was awesome. There's so many diverse people. I mean, obviously, everybody's just dressed up as somebody outside of, reality.
Yeah.
So it was awesome. I liked it.
Awesome. Ashley, did you get a chance?
Unfortunately, I did not, but I just barely remembered this. I got this picture back here from Comic-Con, not this last one, but the year before.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's my favorite piece of art, but I love Comic-Con, and I'm going next year.
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
Well, like not to change subjects or anything like that, but something tragic did happen last night. I woke to my CNN app, and unfortunately, there was another school shooting. But this one was a little bit different. I believe it was in Arizona. Does anybody have details?
This was Northern Arizona University.
Flagstaff.
In Flagstaff, Arizona. Wonderful place. Love it.
Beautiful.
Hippie town.
Yeah.
But I think it was like 1 o'clock in the morning outside of a housing building that usually houses fraternities and sororities there. There was an incident, an argument that went on. There was an 18-year-old student there, and he wound up pulling a gun out, and he shot 4 people. One of them did wind up dying last night. The other 3 are supposed to make a recovery. But I guess this comes as a shock with everyone, especially like the recent weeks with the shooting up in Oregon and just all this violence that's been going on. So it's sparked a lot of talk about gun control, like that's like the worst debate I don't like hearing, because everyone's got their own opinions, and it's like, no, we're for gun control, no, respect my like Second Amendment rights, but like at the same time, what is the Second Amendment rights? Is it to like me have personal firearms, or is it for states to have militias? Like there's a big debate there.
Now, Steph, like a lot of people have been talking about, should we have armed teachers in schools? What do you think?
Well, I personally think yes, but I don't want to propose like, oh yeah, hey kids, I have a gun there. But no, like they have a concealed permit and the license, and they would just keep it somewhere safe where no one knows except for the teacher and perhaps the other faculty. And I mean, as long as the school policy would admit it, I mean, I think they have to bend some rules or however that works.
Jesse, is that a smart idea?
It could be. I mean, what's the real issue here? Because it seems like this is becoming a bigger and bigger thing. And is it because the media is pushing it, or is it because what is it really? Because obviously the guns aren't. It's not the guns going out and killing people. It's the people.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's going to be. What's the fix? I don't know personally what the fix is, but.
Is it to have a gun already there on campus by somebody, or is it to actually help these kids that might be going through bullying or might have certain chemical disorders or imbalances, or, do we have to go ahead and should we nurture the student body, or do we need to go ahead and arm the faculty? Ashley?
I personally believe that it is our constitutional right to protect ourselves, bear arms. And I personally think that our founding fathers put that in place so that if our government decided to take radical decisions that our society did not agree with, they can use those arms and defend themselves. And I think it's Finland, where after the age of 18, everyone is required to carry around a firearm. And since about, I think it was 1970, they have not had a shooting.
Well, with Finland, yes, they're required to have a firearm, but the ammunitions are only stocked at fire ranges. So, like, some of those numbers are kind of skewed. I see all these memes and stuff like that on Facebook, like, oh, this country has strict gun control laws, and this is what's going on there, what's going on there. Like, we don't know the story. I feel like the main issues here in America, it's a combination of what needs to be done, gun control, and mental health awareness. Because if you look at majority of the shootings that have taken place, a lot of the people have had like depression issues, multiple personalities, they're on antidepressants. Like there's a mental issue there. And do we like start making like psychological checks when you do a gun? I know.
Is there like more like mental people now than you would say like then? Like it seems like that's what I'm not understanding. Why is it such a big deal now? Why do we keep hearing about this? Back then, the only gun shooting we ever heard of that ever happened out of school was was it in the 90s? I forgot what it was called.
Columbine.
Yeah, Columbine, yes. Yeah,
Well,
that's the only,
that's
now
the only
we hear one
trench
every
coat
month
mafia.
maybe.
Yeah.
Well, there was also a University of Texas shooting where there's a sniper on the roof back in the 60s. It's becoming the norm because we're letting it become the norm. I feel like every single time there's a school shooting, our politicians, yes, they apologize to like the families, but at the same time, it literally turns into like, okay, like, don't take away my guns, or we're going to take away your guns. No one wants to take away your guns. Right? Like, no one wants to take away your guns. Everyone's like, Obama's going to take away our guns. No, what he wants is stricter access to it. Like, if you heard the perpetrator's father over the weekend that the shooting happened, he was definitely like, this shouldn't have happened because my son should have never had access to these 13 guns. Here, if I hear where these teachers they're proposing that these teachers do have their concealed, which I'm okay with, but what they're saying is these teachers have to go through a background check, a psychological screening, and go through a concealed permit class. Why wouldn't you require that for every person that's going to buy a gun? If you trust the teachers to go through,
that would be too smart to do.
That'd be too smart to do. I don't want to take away your guns, but I want to have I want to make sure you're not a crazy person. I heard this woman, she saw a shoplifter running through the parking lot of a Home Depot. All right, And security was chasing him. He got into the back of an SUV, and this is a busy parking lot. She had a concealed permit, and she decides to pull out her gun and start shooting at the vehicle.
In an open area.
Open area, people involved. There was no one's life threatened, no lives threatened. All right, this guy had $1,000 worth of merchandise. You're not the police. All right,
that's true, yeah.
I think it's safe to say she doesn't have a concealed permit anymore.
Here's the thing, that's not even the case. All right, the police are debating about if they're going to press charges on her, like opening fire in a public place.
Yeah.
Really?
You could say she was in threat.
She was not.
But she wasn't.
She wasn't in threat. She wasn't even a part of the whole entire situation.
Ashley, how would you have reacted to that situation?
I have no idea. It's one of those things where I'd probably have to be put in the situation, but I can say as a future educator, I will be an armed teacher. I'm not going to be like showing my elementary kids like, look, I have a gun, you guys.
Yeah.
Like, no, but I'm going to discuss with them like, this is what happens if you see an intruder, you're going to go to this area. I'm going to go over those very safety procedures the very first day of school. I'm not going to tell them I have a gun because that's none of their business. It's concealed for a reason.
Oh, yeah.
But it takes one good guy to stop that one bad guy with a gun.
Well,
very true.
But here's the thing: if your school policy doesn't allow you to, are you going to go around the rules and keep the?
I already plan on going into the political side to change the political side of education. Our costs are too high. Teacher tenure sucks. Like we're student debt. I don't know about you guys, but I'm in the hole. So like our education system needs to change, and I think that's one of the things. But that's just my personal opinion.
And these are amazing topics that we'll go ahead and brush up on the next episode. So we want to go ahead and thank you guys so much. We want to go ahead and thank you guys so much for watching another edition of Slick Talk. We want to go ahead and thank Jerry again for joining us. Also Jesse, our newcomer.
Oh, thank you.
Yep. Muchas gracias, bienvenidos, and thank you. We'll see you on the next episode where we will save you a slice.